I'll give you about 2 minutes. Number one, that is showing that, so if A plus B plus C is the same as B plus C plus A, notice that in essence, the A just moved, right? The A moved from here to here. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's the same thing. What's that called? What property is that called? Commutative, right? Because it commuted. Commuted. If I wanted it to be the associative, I would have simply put parentheses around it, right? Something, right? But it commuted. It moved. Number two, what property is it when you multiply it by 1? A times 1 is still A. What's that called? When you multiply it by 1, it is still A. Therefore, A kept its identity, right? It's the identity property. Identity. Number 3, order of operations. Which one do I do first? Do I do 26 plus 5 first? No. What do I do first? 4 times 3. What is 4 times 3? 12. Bring everything else down. 26 plus 5 minus 12. Now I have plus and a minus left. Which one do I do first? Why? Because it happens first, right? It's left to right. 26 plus 5 is 31 minus 12 is 19. 19 is the answer to number 3. 19 is the answer to number 3. Number 4. Let me separate this. Do you see any parentheses? Yeah. 2 plus 4 is 6. Bring everything else down. 16 minus 6 times 2. Do I go 16 minus 6 now? Are you all looking? This is where you learn, people. Quizzes is where you learn. I'm noticing. Do I go 16 minus 6 now? Is that the next step? No, why not? Because I have to multiply first, right? We still do the order of operations. 6 times 2 is 12. 16 minus 12 is 4. The answer to number 4 is 4. I want to know how many they got correct. Less than 1.5 is decimals. So you know the place values, you know. Right, you know those so far. I mean, the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands, and then the 10,000s and the 100,000s, the millions. We dealt with that on lesson 1. Now we're dealing with decimals. What goes next after the ones place over here after the decimals? Is it the oneths? Is there a place value called the oneths? No. Everything mirrors the other side except for there's no oneths. We start now going the tenths with a hundredths, right? Hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millionths, right? It's the exact same thing, except there's no ones, there's no oneths. Right? It goes tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, etc. Right? That's how it is said, and that's how you do it. When you read a number, here's the deal. I'm going to show you the secret. Are you ready, Jonathan? I'm going to show you the secret. Don't click. Find the last column that the decimal is in, and that is going to be the last word that you say. Find the last column that the last number is in, and that is the last word that you say. For example, in this one, the last number is in the what place? Hundredths place. That is going to be the last number that's the last word that you say. The rest of it you read. Now watch. I'm going to read it like this. This is 4,835. This is the only time that you use the word and. The and is the decimal, 4,835. And now you already know the last word is hundredths. So now you just look at the number in front of that and go, how many hundredths are there? 12. 12 hundredths. Does that make sense? Make sense, Emily? Question?
So only if there's something after the decimal you say and?
Right. The only time when you're reading a number that you would ever use the word and is if there's something after the decimal. That's it. If there's not something after the decimal, you don't use the word and. Let's try another one. You tell me, what is the last, what column, what place value is the last number in? Show me what that column is. 10,000. Therefore, you know that the last word that we're going to say in this number is 10,000. So, let's start reading. I look over here and go, okay, what's the first part? 506. And, right, and. Now, I know that the last word is 10,000. So then now, just grab what you see here. Grab everything after the decimal. Grab this. How many 10,000s are there? 8,143 10,000s. That's how you do it. It's very straightforward. It's very simple if you will simply follow the rules. Make sense? Let's do one that's even easier than that. Let's do one that's even easier than that. What's the last word going to be that we're going to say, Dylan? What's the last word we're going to say? Hundredths. Because the last number is in the hundredths place. So we read it, 3 and then you go, okay, how many hundredths are there? 9. 3 and 9 hundredths. Make sense? It really is that simple. A lot of times people get confused and they're not sure what to say. And no. Real easy. Just follow those basic steps and you've got it. The other thing, the only other thing that we're dealing with here. Oh, do they deal with that? Yeah, they do. Okay. Standard form. Standard form is the number 3 and 9 hundredths. That is standard form. Okay? You're used to seeing standard form. Expanded form would be this. 3 plus 0.09. That is expanded form. Another way, let me give you a longer number so that we can, oops. Let's do this. Let's go 3, 8, 2, 1, 4, 5. Somebody read me that number, please. Somebody who's confident, read me that number. Read me the number. Read me the number. It's really funny. Sorry, go ahead.
382 and 145.
Not 10,000s. Those are just thousands, right? You got it. 382 and 145 thousandths. Got it? Okay. In standard form, that would be 382.145. That's standard form, what you're used to. Expanded form looks like this. It would be, what is that, 3? What is it? 300. Plus, what is that, 8? 80. What is that, 2? Plus 2. Plus, what is that, 1? 1/10. Plus, what is that, 4? 4 hundredths. Plus plus 0.04. Plus, what is that, 5? Plus 0.005. This is called expanded form. Do you understand? Yes. Each number that isn't a 0 you put its place value, you put what it's worth, and you add it to the thing that was previous. Try this one then. Somebody, you tell me, what is this in expanded form? Michael, your head should not be touching the chair. Jared.
500 plus 10 plus 7 plus 0.8.
Plus 0.8 or plus 8/10, right? Whatever. I know you know what you're talking about. Does that make sense? 500 plus 10 plus 7. Do you agree that equals 517? Plus 0.8. That's expanded form. You all follow that? Is there anybody who's confused by that? Caleb, whatever you're doing, knock it. You need to be paying attention to me. Rounding. If I want you to round to the nearest hundredth, here's the deal. Find the hundredths place. Underline it. Boom. The hundredths place. Now here's the deal, let me explain. When you are going to round to the nearest, whatever it is, the nearest, right? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths, millionths, billionths, whatever. You're going to round to the nearest, that is the last number that is shown in the string. It means that for right now, I'm going to look to the 2 is going to look to the 6 and go, oh wow, the 6 is bigger than a 5, and so the 2 becomes a 3. The answer is 0.43. Nothing goes past the place that you are going to be rounding to. Nothing is written past that. Does that make sense? Now, what if I have this? And I want you to round it to right here. Here's a tricky one. What place is that? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. That's what I have to do. I have to do the same thing. Don't just take a guess. Look at it. Go, okay, right. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Do it yourself. Thousandths place. He looks over to the right. Sees the 9. The 9 then turns the other 9 into a 10. That makes this a 0. Carry a 1. That makes this a 9. Agreed? So it's actually 3.490. Where do I stop? If I'm rounding to the nearest thousandth, which one is right? Do I write it like this? Or do I write it like this? Do you know? There's a rule. What's the rule, Dylan? Which one? The first one. If they want you to round to the nearest thousandth, then you certainly don't put anything after the thousandths, but you've got to put it to the thousandth. Does that make sense? You've got to put it to the thousandth. Yes?
Technically speaking, isn't the number the same?
It is technically speaking the same. However, if they tell you to round to the nearest thousandth, then you got to put the thousandth place in there. Does that make sense? Got to do it. Practice rounding a few times for me. And they give you one. Round it to this, so 2.3428. Round to that place. And then over here, round... round those. Here we go. On the first one, we're rounding to the, what place is that? Hundredths, right? Tenths, hundredths. The 4 looks to the 2. The 2 is smaller than 5. Therefore, it stays the same. 2.34, we're done. How many of you got 2.34 for the first one? What'd you put? What'd you put? The next one, the 4 looks to the 7. Makes it go up 0.1735. That's it. How many of you got that? Right. Does anybody have a problem with these? I mean, this is stuff that I know you did last year. I know you did. Okay. I just don't see anything that is going to be trouble. What, if you'll look at page 24, please. Look at numbers 21 to 25. The instruction says write each decimal in standard form and in expanded form. That means you got to write both. Do both. What if you have this for expanded form? What if I have this? How would you write that in expanded form? You tell me. How would you write that in expanded form? Jonathan, what would you do? How would you write this in expanded form? How do you write it in expanded form? Do you remember what expanded form is? Okay, what is? How would you do it? Not 3. See, because if you did 3, then 40 plus 3 is 43. Is this 43? No. So 40 plus, not 0.3, 0.003. Again, right? What is 40 plus, stop clicking. Stop doing that. What is 40 plus 0.003? That's what this is, right? If we had done 40 plus 0.3, then that would be 40.3. Is this the same as this? No. Expanded form should have the answer just written out expanded. Okay. The rest of it I think you should do fine on. Let's hope. Right? Let's hope.